Hey there, physics pals. Paul Lake here with another physics problem solved. I hope you're doing great. And in this one, we're going to work a projectile motion problem. We're going to find the height and range of an arrow given its final velocity. A little different than most of them. So, of course, we're going to be talking about projectile motion. And we're going to be using these kinematic equations in the y direction, where the acceleration in the y direction is just acceleration of gravity. And of course, in the x direction, there is no acceleration. And this kind of defines what projectile motion is, right? Projectile motion is when the only acceleration you have is that due to gravity. So let's read the problem. We have an arrow is shot horizontally from the top of a tall building. From high-speed video evidence, it is determined that the arrow hit the ground with a final velocity of 55.2 meters per second at an angle of 35 degrees below the horizontal. A, from what height was the arrow shot? And B, how far from the base of the building did the arrow land? Okay, now I get these problems from my tutoring clients, so check out the description for a document that will have information where you can get a hold of me. You can text me if you think you might benefit from my tutoring services. My rates are reasonable. I can save you a lot of time and a lot of stress. I'm pretty good at this, and I can help you make physics a little bit more fun. And you can help me pay for my health insurance. Okay. Anyway, let's see what's given here. We've got a tall building. Okay, so I'll just draw a tall building. And we don't know how high it is, but that's something we're going to have to find. And we're going to shoot an arrow off the top of this building. So we're just going to say the height of the building is the height that the arrow was shot from. Okay. And it's shot horizontally. And then it's under the influence of gravity, it's going to come down until it sticks into the ground right here. And now this is the final velocity, and I didn't draw this particularly well, but the final velocity is 55.2 meters per second. Now somebody may be saying, hey, isn't it zero? I mean, it's stuck into the ground. No, in projectile motion, this final velocity is the velocity of this arrow just before it made contact with the ground. So don't say it's zero. That doesn't make any sense anyway. You can't solve any problems with that. Okay, so we have height, we have range here, delta x, and we know this angle. This angle theta is negative 35 degrees. Okay, and so what are we trying to find? Well, for part A, we want to know what is this height. And then from part B, we want to know what is delta x? What is the range? Sometimes that's called the range of the projectile. Something like that. So that's not 35 degrees, but oh well. It's just a sketch, right? Help visualize what we're doing. Okay, so let's solve this. Now, here's what I recommend you do. Pause the video right now and try to solve it yourself. Unpause it if you get stuck, or just to hear my explanation. I do a lot of teaching within the solution of this problem, so you might be well served to listen to the whole thing. If I talk too slow, just 1.25 speed. I've been told I sound like a normal person at that speed. But anyway, it's up to you. All right, let's do part A. It says, from what height was the arrow shot? Well, here's something we know. We know that this is this arrow is going to fall down a certain distance. I'm going to call that delta y. Now, usually when we're solving for delta y, we're usually going to use this equation here. Not always, not always. Sometimes we use this one. Rarely do we ever use this equation to find delta y, but sometimes. But this one, once in a while, but this is your workhorse for projectile motion problems right here. So I'm going to say, well, delta y is equal to the initial velocity in the y direction times time, plus 1/2 the acceleration in the y direction times time squared. Okay, so, well, shoot. I don't know what, well, I do know what the initial velocity in the y direction is, right? Because it said that the arrow is shot horizontally. Okay, so that's a sneaky way of saying, hey, the initial velocity is all in the horizontal direction. There's no initial velocity in the y direction. And that's how they'll tell you in problems like this. They'll say that it's shot horizontally. So you just have to read into that, oh, hey, the initial velocity in the y direction is 0. Nice. The whole term goes away. So I know what the acceleration is, right? It's just negative 9.8 meter, 9.81. I use 9.81 meters per second squared. And then time, oh, I don't know time. I'm going to have to figure out time. So what else do I know? Well, I might, usually when I need time in the y direction, I'll look in the x direction. But look in the x direction. Delta x is not given. I'm going to try to find it. Now I can't sort of figure this out, but again, I don't know time. So there's two unknowns here. That's not going to work. Well, what about, so think about it. What do I know? Well, I know this final velocity, and I know what this angle is. So this final velocity has an x component and a y component. So this is Vy. And given that this magnitude here, this hypotenuse is 55.2 meters per second, and I know the angle, I can figure out what the legs are. So I can figure out what the final velocity is in the y direction. I know what the initial velocity is in the y direction is 0, and I know what the acceleration is. Oh, I can solve for time. I can use this first equation to solve for time. Okay, so let's do that. So the final velocity in the y is equal to the initial velocity in the y plus the acceleration times time. So time is going to be equal to that, well, this is 0. So I'm just going to divide this by the acceleration. So it's going to be the final velocity in the y direction divided by the acceleration. Now we can plug in values. The final velocity in the y direction is the final velocity, that is 55.2 meters per second. But notice that this is the opposite leg of this right triangle, right? This vertical component of the final velocity. So to find the opposite leg, I multiply by the sine of the angle. It's the sine of negative 35 degrees. Okay, now what's the acceleration? The acceleration is negative 9.81 meters per second squared. You might think, wait a minute, negative here. Well, this negative is going to get canceled out because the sine of negative 35 is going to be a negative value. As we'll see right now. Let's do it. Okay, so we have 55.2 times the sine of negative 35 degrees equals, see how it's negative? Negative 31.66. Now we're going to divide that by negative 9.81, and I get the time that I need, 3.227. I can carry an extra digit here, 3.227 seconds. So that's how long the arrow, how long it took to fall down, okay? Because we know what the final velocity is, we know what the initial velocity is, we know what the acceleration is, so I can solve for the time. Okay, so now that I know what the time is, I can plug that in here and solve for my height. So delta y equal, this is 0, 1/2 of negative 9.81 meters per second squared, and then the time is 3.227 seconds squared. So this is going to give me a delta y of, well, let's see, 0.5 times negative 9.81 equals times 3.227 squared equals, I'm going to get negative 51 point, I'll round it off, 51.1 meters. Okay. Now, wait a minute. You go, whoa, wait, that's a negative height? Well, okay, they're asking us for the height, but we're finding the height by figuring out how much it fell down. Now, it fell down, so its displacement in the y direction is negative because the arrow fell down. So this says, hey, my displacement in the y direction was in the negative y direction, 51.1 meters in the negative direction. So I can just get rid of the negative and say, hey, h is therefore, if it fell down 51.1 meters, then that means it had to be a height of 51.1 meters above the ground. So yeah, you're allowed to think like that. Heck yeah. Okay. Very cool. So that's your answer to part A. Now let's do part B. Hey, if you're finding this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more like this, look in the description. There's a link that will take you to a Google Doc where all these videos are organized by subject. There's lectures, there's worksheets. If you're a teacher, you can use my worksheets with your students, and then so that they can see problems like these being solved. I know that when I was a physics teacher, there just wasn't enough time to work enough example problems, and that's one reason I'm doing this. And it's fun. No, I don't make any money doing this, but I just enjoy doing it. All right, let's do part B. How far from the base of the building did the arrow land? Well, there's only one kinematic equation that we can use, right? And that is the range is equal to the initial velocity in the x direction times time. Well, they didn't give me this initial velocity in the x direction, but what do we know about the velocity in the x direction for a projectile? Oh, it's constant. So if I can figure out what the final velocity is, that will be equal to the initial velocity. Okay, so and I know what that final velocity is in the x direction. It's just this right here, this component of the final velocity, which is the total 55.2 meters per second times the cosine of negative 35 degrees. Now, don't worry about that negative. You can drop it if you want, because the cosine of negative 35 will be the same as the cosine of positive 35 degrees. Because, well, you can look at the unit circle and all that kind of stuff. All right, and then we know how much time it was in the air, 3.227 seconds. And this will give me my range. So let's do that. So 55.2 times the cosine of negative 35 times the time of 3.227 seconds, and that gives me 145.9. We'll round that to 146 meters. We'll keep it to 3 significant figures. So the arrow will hit the ground 146 meters. So isn't that cool? I mean, if you know, well, you have to know the final velocity, both the magnitude and direction of the final velocity. And if you know that the initial velocity was horizontal, you can figure out how high it was shot from and how far from the horizontal it was from where it was shot. It's pretty cool. And there it is. Another physics problem solved. So very cool. Hey, I want to thank you for watching. I also want to thank you for being a physics student. Thank you for going through all this. I know how difficult it is. I know how frustrating and time-consuming it can be. And but you know what? If it weren't for hard-working, smart people like you, learning how the universe works like this, well, our technologically based civilization would crumble. Our civilization will crumble without you because it's all based on a foundation of physics. Okay, so you're doing good. You're doing a good thing by studying this, and I want to thank you for it. And thank you for watching again. And until the next video, may the net force be with you always. That is all.